Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube land. Boy, am I bringing you another one. We've been discussing Arkansas corruption, so I thought I'd show you one that comes from the top. He is a lawmaker in the state of Arkansas. Well, he was. He's a former Arkansas lawmaker. He was also the governor's nephew, and his daddy was a senator. His name is Jeremy Hutchinson. You wouldn't believe if I told you that he pled guilty to accepting bribes. Would you believe that? A lawmaker accepting bribes. But he pled guilty in federal court, or pleaded guilty, whichever way you think is proper to say it that way, in Missouri, because that's where the district Supreme Court is for this whole district. For working as outside counsel for a company called the Preferred Family Healthcare, which is located out of Springdale, Arkansas, or Springfield, Missouri. That's where it's at. That's where their main office is. Anyway, court records showed that he was paid more than $350,000 in charity funds from a nonprofit organization to help them do what they needed to do. Anyway, he pled guilty last month to accepting bribes and filing false tax returns. Imagine that. Now remember, he's a lawmaker. He's the guy who puts the laws on the books. Anyway, the money was given to him to bribe a senator so they could get all this done. Isn't that cool? And while I was checking all this out, I learned something new, which confused me too. Not only did he plead guilty in that little corruption case there, as they call it, he also pled guilty for the second time. Now, hold on to your britches for this one. For taking bribes. Now, it's quite comical. How this all came about, but he was a former state senator. He pled guilty Monday to accepting bribes from a nonprofit organization that once served as Arkansas's largest Medicaid provider of mental health care. It rounded out a global deal that he struck last month to settle separate federal cases in Springfield, Little Rock, and Fayetteville. The Little Rock Republican, who was chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee when he resigned, has now admitted guilt to 3 of the 25 total charges lodged against him. So he's went to court now and pled guilty on 3 of them. Now, here's where it gets crazy. If they decide to, don't mean they're going to, he can face up to 13 years in federal prison for stealing from Medicaid. Grow a pot plant in your yard and see how many years you get. Man, oh man. His lawyer, would you believe, had nothing to say? Isn't that funny? Anyway, Hutchinson's pleaded guilty to a conspiracy charge during the hearing, specifically acknowledging that he accepted bribes from a federally funded nonprofit in exchange for legislative action. Oh, we give you this money and you pass us this law. Man, that ought to put him under a federal penitentiary for the rest of his born days, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, and, my opinion don't matter. But anyway, he is the nephew of Governor Asa Hutchinson in Arkansas, and his daddy, Tim Hutchinson, is a U.S. Senator. How deep does this go? All the way to the outhouse, it sounds like. I mean, the White House. Dadgone. Anyway, over the years, Mr. Hutchinson has collected hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Texarkana law firm Keel and Goodson, and tens of thousands of dollars from an orthodontist who sought to have the state law changed to benefit his practice, according to court documents and testimony. Well, sounds like to me he's been trading legislative favors for cash. I guess when you got all the power, absolute power does corrupt. Either that or they just hired a corrupt guy when they hired him. I don't know which. Payments made by the orthodontist were the basis for Hutchinson's guilty plea. Oh, not the fact that I stole from federally funded Medicaid, but because this orthodontist gave me money. That's why I'm pleading guilty. Yeah. Man. It describes an acknowledgement and consent order that matches an acknowledgement made in November 2013. Boy, they sure do drag their feet on this. Benjamin Burris of Fort Smith made. Anyway, Alternative Opportunities Incorporated, which ran dozens of Medicaid-funded mental health clinics in Arkansas, started paying Hutchinson in 2013, and they merged with the Kirksville, Missouri-based Preferred Family Healthcare, and ultimately paid the senator $350,000 to get their way on Medicaid. Two former executives of Preferred Family, I am no good with these names, Bontiea Goss, and the chief financial officer, Tom Goss. Wow, they must be related, you think? They were indicted along with Hutchinson in March. They have pleaded innocent to more than 20 of the charges. Wow. Attorneys representing Bontiea and Tom Goss did not respond to an email seeking comment. Wonder why these lawyers won't comment on this stuff. My lawyer threw me under a bus, man. Preferred Family at its peak operated dozens of outpatient behavioral clinics and substance abuse clinics in Arkansas. Well, we got one judge feeding them the drugs and a substance abuse clinic paying off the senators. Hey, this is great. $245 million for Medicaid. It is what they snagged from that. From Medicaid. That was just from Medicaid. That's not counting the co-pays and all that. Preferred Family sold its Arkansas subsidiary in October. Wonder why? After the state suspended it from participating in the Medicaid program. Well, they weren't just participating. They had their hand in the cookie jar. Criminal allegations spelled out in Hutchinson's plea deal first surfaced when a grand jury issued an 85-page indictment. 85-page indictment. Hutchinson and the Gosses, and it was unsealed in April of last year, this indictment was. Although short on new details, Monday's plea agreement includes several acknowledgments. Hutchinson that he conspired with the company's executives to steal from and commit bribery on federally funded programs. He's a lawmaker now. Don't forget that. He also took lawmaking instruction from nonprofit executive Robin Ravindran, who pleaded guilty last month in Springfield to paying bribes to Hutchinson through a non-profit organization that was funded by Preferred Family. Raving Dran, Ravendran, Raveen Dran, worked for the Department of Human Services for 30 years. Boy, this just gets more twisted, doesn't it? It also notes that Hutchinson performed some legal work for the nonprofit, but would have never been hired as the charity counsel had it not been for his official position. Several potential witnesses to alleged Preferred Family misconduct previously struck plea deals in Springfield. The list includes Cranford, Ravendran, and other former executives, former Arkansas lawmakers, and a national political consultant. Sentencing in all those cases is pending. Well, sounds like he's going to be out for Christmas. Although Hutchinson faces up to 13 years in prison, the amount of time he will serve is subject to a number of variables. The U.S. probation officer over the next 3 months will investigate Hutchinson's background and provide a written report to judges presiding in these cases. The judge has the ultimate authority to impose the sentence and can deviate from the recommended sentencing range. He ain't gonna get no time at all. He's probably got money stuck in the judge's wallet already. Take care of that. Hutchinson, through his attorney, has agreed to surrender his Arkansas law license. Well, folks, there you go. There's you another corrupt one in Arkansas. Man, oh man. His uncle's the governor. His daddy is a U.S. senator. And he's collecting bribes and frauding Medicaid. Keep that in mind. You folks have a wonderful day.